Hello there. There's a new Brexit battle looming, and the UK courts and the House of Lords will be rooting for the European Union. As per usual, please like, subscribe and comment below. And when subscribing, please do press that little bell, but also select the all option, or you won't get any notifications when I publish a new video. The ever-brewing tussle between Brussels and London over the Northern Ireland Protocol is now coming to a head, and promises to be the next Brexit battle royal. But as ever, it will be a contest of law through both Parliament and the UK Supreme Court, and be in no doubt many in the House of Commons, the overwhelming majority in the House of Lords, and most Supreme Court judges will come down heavily in favour of the European Union at the first opportunity they get. And all you'll have battered down your throats by the likes of the BBC, the opposition and pro-EU Lords is that Boris must not be allowed to break international law by triggering Article 16 of the Protocol. Just like we heard when the Internal Market Bill with the now removed controversial clauses was going through Parliament. When in fact he won't be breaking international law, and more on that shortly. Now what's happening is the UK, in a fit of naivety and trust, stupidly signed Northern Ireland and its people up to the Northern Ireland Protocol, in the misplaced belief that the EU was as interested in respecting the Belfast Agreement and keeping the peace in Northern Ireland as the UK government is. But it is now palpably obvious to all that Brussels has no interest in the continued success of the Belfast Agreement or keeping the peace. All they see is the glittering prize of holding what they believe is a big lever, the Northern Ireland Protocol, and all they have to do, they think, is just keep pulling at it, causing so many problems that the UK will eventually crumble. Crumble to a position where either Northern Ireland becomes part of a united Ireland within the EU, or the UK would agree to once again bow to Brussels rules just to make the problems disappear. But the most stupid mistake the UK government made in the protocol was allowing the EU's tame European Court of Justice to be the final port of call for any dispute. And that will only ever go one way, whatever the actual merits of the case are. Everyone realises that. And that's why Brussels feels so comfortable in pushing, on a pro-rata basis, far more checks on goods moving from Great Britain to Northern Ireland than goods from around the rest of the world entering the whole single market. Now, anyone who's been watching and listening to the EU over the years knows the Eurocrats are not to be trusted. So their attempts to use the protocol in this way were perfectly predictable. But the most important factor here is that if, and it's a big if both sides really do believe in the Belfast Agreement and ensuring that peace on the island of Ireland remains undisturbed, if they believe that, then the protocol was not put there to give either side an advantage. That is to say, it was put in place to keep the constitutional status quo. If both sides believe in the Belfast Agreement, then the protocol was meant to maintain the peace as well as protect the EU single market and the UK internal market. That the UK signed up to this unprecedented arrangement is testament to the UK's belief in keeping the peace. That the EU uses it as a weapon is testament to their bad faith and total disregard of the Belfast Agreement. Further, the existence of Article 16 within the protocol, which the European Union has also signed up to, and the way the article is worded, shows that the status quo must have been the real aim of the protocol, and that the EU is forcing it to operate in a way that must lead the UK into using Article 16 shows how little the Eurocrats, aided and abetted by Dublin, really care. And as to those habitual pro-EU claims that triggering Article 16 would be against international law, Article 16 is international law. It's part of the Withdrawal Agreement Treaty between the EU and the UK, which both the UK and the EU signed up to. But now, due to EU intransigence, it's got to the stage where, unless the EU shows real good faith, the UK is on the real verge of triggering Article 16. But to do this, Boris has got to put replacement rules to parts of the protocol in place. And this would mean passing legislation. At the very least, new statutory instruments would have to be voted through in both the House of Commons and the House of Lords. It might even take primary legislation, an Act of Parliament, to do it. Possibly to put those clauses back into the Internal Market Act that were removed before it became law because they gave the government the potential power to unilaterally breach the protocol. Hence the claims last year that the new law would break international law. But whatever they do, the House of Lords will vote against it. And pro-EU players will try to use the Supreme Court to overrule the use of any such new legislation. And the overriding message from all the anti-Brexit, anti-UK and pro-Brussels types will be that Boris Johnson must not be allowed to break international law. Yes, as soon as Lord David Frost, our post-Brexit negotiator, unveils the proposed new rules, Brussels, pro-EU MPs, the House of Lords, Joe Biden, etc., 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 will all claim they break international law, whatever the truth is. But the truth is, in all probability, they won't break international law. And why? Because the economic and the societal and the trade diversion requirements have already been met to allow the UK to use the international law agreed between the EU and UK to trigger Article 16, as long as it's used to address the problems. Because the wording of Article 16 that the EU is also bound by international law to respect says, if the application of this protocol leads to serious economic, societal or environmental difficulties that are liable to persist, or to diversion of trade, the Union or the United Kingdom may unilaterally take appropriate safeguard measures. And the application of the protocol has caused economic and societal problems as well as the diversion of trade. So the UK is able to use international law to redress the situation. That's it. Simples, as a meerkat would say. And anyone claiming that the protocol is not causing problems in Northern Ireland is either stupid, deaf, blind or just plain lying. So whenever the usual pro-EU suspects claim that the UK government is breaching international law by using Article 16, just say, due to the way the European Union is misapplying the Northern Ireland Protocol, Northern Ireland is suffering economic and societal problems as well as from diversion of trade. Any one of those would give the UK sufficient cause to trigger Article 16, which is part of international law which the EU has signed up to itself. The EU is bound by it. In short, if the conditions to trigger Article 16 are met and the UK triggers Article 16, the UK is not breaking international law. It is using international law correctly to put right the actions of an overbearing Brussels. But whatever we do, Brussels will react in bad faith. But before I get onto that, I just want to say a massive thank you to all my Super Thanks Patreon and PayPal supporters, as well as those that do buy a mug, with my mug on it. Links in the descriptions box below. You really do help me keep this channel going. So if and when the UK is forced to use international law and triggers Article 16, Brussels will do the usual Eurocrat thing to try and bully the UK into backing down. And they're laying the groundwork right now by offering certain limited minor concessions, such as allowing one part of the UK, Great Britain, to sell sausages to another part of the UK, Northern Ireland, something I talked about in a very recent video. That way they will claim they've done their best to accommodate us. But if the result of those minor concessions is continued problems in Northern Ireland, then the UK is still perfectly within its rights to continue to act until the situation is normalised. The only problem for the UK, and it's a real large problem, is that the EU's tame European Court of Justice has final say under the protocol, and the ECJ will always rule against the UK, whatever the true merits of the case are. To think otherwise is totally naive. But first we have to overcome the pro-EU bias of the House of Lords and UK judges, and the sooner they're reformed, the better. So what's your opinion on the UK potentially triggering Article 16? Please like and comment below.